Once in a peaceful village, there lived a skilled potter named Mira. Her pottery was admired by everyone for its beauty and precision, but lately, she found herself increasingly anxious about her work. No matter how many compliments she received, Mira was always worried about the outcome of her next piece. Every time she sat at the wheel, her thoughts were consumed by the desire to create the perfect pot. She would envision the shape, the texture, and the glaze, fixating on the final result. But the more she focused on perfection, the more mistakes she made. Her hands would tremble, the clay would wobble, and she would end up frustrated, blaming herself for not achieving what she had imagined. One evening, as Mira was sitting by the river, feeling disheartened, an elderly woman named Mira approached her. Mira was known throughout the village as a master weaver, her hands always calm and steady. Sensing Mira's troubled heart, Mira sat down next to her and asked, "What troubles you, Mira?" Mira sighed. "I want my pottery to be perfect, but the more I focus on how it should turn out, the more I fail. I'm starting to doubt whether I'm any good at this." Mira smiled gently. "Let me tell you something I learned long ago. When I was younger, I used to weave with the goal of creating flawless tapestries. Every thread had to be perfectly aligned, every pattern precise. But no matter how hard I tried, I would always find some imperfection." "What did you do?" Mira asked. "I stopped focusing on the end result," Mira replied. "Instead, I began to pay attention to the act of weaving itself. I learned to enjoy the feel of the threads, the rhythm of my hands, the way each moment brought something new. And in doing so, the tapestries wove themselves. The beauty came not from my desire for perfection but from my love for the craft." Mira listened intently, the weight of her worries beginning to lift. "So you're saying I should focus on the process, not the outcome?" "Exactly," Mira said. "When you focus too much on the result, you rob yourself of the joy of creating. Let go of the need for perfection and trust that each pot you make is a reflection of the moment you're in. If you love the process, the results will follow naturally." The next day, Mira returned to her workshop with a new perspective. She no longer fretted about how her pots would turn out. Instead, she let her hands move freely, enjoying the smoothness of the clay and the way it transformed under her touch. To her surprise, her work improved. The pots became more elegant, and the joy she had once lost returned. Mira realized that true mastery wasn't about focusing on the final product. It was about being present, embracing the journey, and allowing the process to unfold without the burden of expectations. And in doing so, her work became more beautiful than she could have ever imagined. Let's learn some words from the story. Envision, to imagine or picture something in your mind. Example, she could envision her future career as a successful artist. Glaze, a shiny coating or finish applied to pottery or ceramics. It can also mean a thin, glossy layer on food. Example, she applied a glaze to her pottery to make it look shiny and smooth. Tremble, to shake slightly, usually because of nervousness, cold, or fear. Example, his hands began to tremble as he approached the stage to give his speech. Wobble, to move unsteadily from side to side or to shake. Example, the table started to wobble because one of its legs was uneven. Weave, to make fabric by interlacing threads, or to create something by combining different elements. Example, she learned how to weave beautiful patterns into the fabric on her loom. Rob, to take something away from someone, often by force or deceit. Example, the thief tried to rob the bank but was caught by the police. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight.